Welcome to Nerd Bros. I am Mick Johnson, along with Hunter Johnson.
Well, hello there.
And Solomon Johnson.
Yes, I'm glad to be here.
Hunter, tell us what we're doing today.
We are here talking about Marvel. Now, it's been a little while since we've been here. We haven't been doing podcasts in a while, but the good news is we didn't miss any Marvel since we last did this.
It turns out, when there's a pandemic, you don't have very many superheroes.
Marvel has taken a 1.5-year break from all movies and television. That's not including the ABC television shows. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was still happening. I am way far behind on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I hear fun things are happening. They just finished their final season.
Do you watch those, Sal?
I actually haven't really heard of that.
You have no idea what we're talking about.
No idea what we're talking
Something about agents.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
We took a break. Sadly, Chadwick took a permanent break.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Black Panther. They're going to be doing some exciting stuff with Black Panther 2. I don't think we're going to touch on that very much, so I just thought I'd mention it now.
It's just part of the larger scheme of Marvel dealing with lots of coming up with new ideas in the midst of a pandemic and trying to reorganize their entire schedule, which is what we're talking about here today. Not the pandemic, but Marvel's Phase 4 whole schedule, 2021, 2022, 2 years. They took a 1.5-year break, and they're jamming it all of it in the span of 2 years. It's going to be a busy time.
But only Marvel could have somehow planned for Endgame to end in 2019, and then they were ready for a break. Did Marvel start coronavirus?
I do think Marvel was responsible for it.
If you can't have superheroes, you can't have anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what happened.
They filmed a bunch of stuff before COVID ended up hitting us, but in the meantime, they took that break. They have been filming new stuff now, and let's just go into it. Let's dive into.
Yeah, I mean, Solomon, tell us what just came out this past week.
Yeah.
I mean, we're filming this. We're recording this a day after a brand new Marvel show came out.
Yes, WandaVision came out Friday, and a new episode, I guess, will be coming out every Friday now.
Every Friday, new episodes of WandaVision. And this is on Disney Plus, of course. And that's where a lot of things will be released now. Disney Plus and other streaming services. That's life as we know it now.
Yeah, it's a new age. They're putting the movie characters into TV shows, giving them a lot more time to breathe. Do you want to talk about this?
No one has a problem with it. It's weird because if there wasn't a pandemic, we would be against this. We would say, why are these big name superheroes showing up on streaming services?
Right.
But it's life as we, like I said, this is it.
Yeah.
This is all we have. So it's like, yes, please give us these superheroes on Disney Plus. We'll take it.
Because I feel like it was like half of just them. Like, I feel like they were going to do that anyway, and like just have good movies on there, and then I think they just ended up doing that instead of movie feeders for a while.
People might have been angry at it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They might have not liked this, but somehow coronavirus worked.
Well, Black Widow almost got released on Disney Plus. The movie was supposed to come out last May.
They almost pulled the trigger.
They almost decided to just put it online and take the blow. But no, they waited. They're releasing it in theaters this May. We'll get to that, but they're keeping the movies in theaters. But I don't know how long it's gonna be till they start doing what like HBO Max is doing Wonder Woman in theaters and on streaming on the same day. I don't know how long it's gonna be till Marvel starts doing that. Even
have you seen Wonder Woman?
I have not. I saw the first one.
I haven't seen the sequel as well, but I've read enough comments to know that it was a messy disaster. And I know some people like it, but overall, I know that they did some really strange things in that movie, and that's exactly why we haven't watched it. We read these comments and we're like, no, not again, not another Justice League, not the cut version. Where that could be a different story when they release the uncut version.
But either way, the good ones and the bad ones for DC, it's all messy because they're not connecting all of it. It's all just let's make one movie at a time. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't.
Would you say Batman vs Superman was even messy?
They're all I think, and I enjoyed that movie, but it's still like a messy like process that they've created. Like Shazam was a fun movie, but it's not really connected to anything. It kind of is connected in its own realm, but they didn't like plan on that being involved in other movies or anything. It's all
they're just throwing things at a wall and seeing what works, and somehow Shazam worked out.
James Gunn gets temporarily fired from Guardians of the Galaxy, and they immediately latch him to direct their new Suicide Squad essentially reboot. It comes out, I think, at the end of this year.
It's got to be this year.
I think
So that's your DC. If you're into DC, that's what you get today. The rest is going to be Marvel.
If you want consistency in DC, go to the Arrowverse, which is still going. It's still pumping. I enjoy the Arrowverse.
They're liking Flash. They're liking Arrow. I mean, it's going well for them. So.
Yeah.
So, I mean, DC is messy. That's kind of our consensus as a family of brothers.
Wyatt is not currently here with us to argue on the behalf of Batman.
No, he agrees with us.
Yeah, but Batman's his guy.
But he knows it's messy.
Yeah.
I'm seeing March 2nd for Suicide Squad.
Really?
The sequel? No, August 6th. I don't know what the first
dates
was.
have changed constantly. So
updated in March. But
this is, as of the release of WandaVision, we have all the official dates for the next 2 years of Marvel Phase 4. It likely will not be changing as of now, because COVID is no longer stopping people from filming stuff, and they have these dates pretty much set. They're not all official dates, but we do know when, at what time of the year these things will be releasing.
Solomon, we talked about how messy the DC movies can be, Batman and Justice League and everything. But what do you think of WandaVision? You've seen both of the first 2 episodes, as we have. What are your first thoughts?
I mean, at first, when the first episode I watched, like, what immediately came to my mind was just how that first episode was just it was just mainly an introduction, because it doesn't have, like, anything on superheroes mainly.
It's a slow burn.
But what did you say, episode 2 is also introduction? In that sense? It seems like, very similar.
Well, it's like they kind of introduced the superhero type whatever's going on, because they had
they start bringing color into the world, and things start looking not quite right. Oh, sorry, yes, this is spoilers for the first 2 episodes of WandaVision.
If you're here, you better have watched them. I'll start out on the down note and let you guys bring it back up, but I didn't like these first 2 episodes. There was many moments of just dull nothing happening, boring conversations of women's PTO type meetings in a gazebo. I'm like, what am I watching? What am I doing here?
Again, it's just, I definitely kind of felt the same way, but I wasn't really thinking about it as much, because again, it seems a lot like an introduction.
And then it's going somewhere.
Yeah, they introduced how it's not like her creating this or something. Or we don't really know anything about what's going on yet. It's just like somebody is trying to contact her.
Yeah.
And they're trying to
someone's trying to contact.
But someone's also observing her.
Someone's observing her on a TV screen. Yeah. So they are in an actual show. So going into this, I thought that this was a whole thing. Kind of like House of M from the comics, where Wanda Maximoff just goes crazy, and she essentially
still could be.
She almost ends the entire universe because her powers. She's so powerful. I do think that's partially it.
Okay,
but clearly it's more than just in her head, because someone is actually wating this.
Someone else. So is a part of it.
Don't know how this works. I'm on the opposite side. Yeah, so go ahead.
Because the first part was they also showed how there's stock products, and there's Hydra products.
Right, the commercials.
Yeah, the commercials seem like they're one of the big things leading up to maybe something. It could just be a side thing.
Yeah, the first commercial seemed inconsequential. It was Stark Industries, and it took place around the same time that the first Captain America took place, when Howard Stark would have actually been inventing stuff. So I thought that was just a fun nod. But the second commercial said that it was produced by Hydra.
The watch is made by
Hydra, and it was a very eerie commercial. I don't know where this is going, especially because Hydra hasn't been
Well, I was about to ask you,
important
Hunter,
for a while.
I thought you would have an idea of where this is going or where you want it to go, and that's what I'm most curious
I
to
have an
hear.
idea of where I think it's going, but not how the mechanics of this TV show is working. Like,
So
I
where
don't.
is it going?
Well, they have. So
Where do they end up?
I think it ends up where the supporting characters that have not yet appeared in the show, but we know are cast, will somehow infiltrate Wanda's secret world and try to pull her out.
Right.
Do you want to talk about what who those characters are?
You can. I mean, the neighbor woman, I recognize her
Right,
from
Catherine
many
Hahn.
things, and she can play anything. I think that's the beauty of casting her in this, is that she can be a hero, she can be a villain very easily. She's very
Definitely.
multifaceted.
Or she could just be a neighbor
I
lady.
think-
that's just doing
I
her.
do think
Sounds like she's nothing.
No, I'm saying she could.
she might be
You know,
just
like,
a neighbor.
Just throwing us
Like,
off.
because Catherine Hahn's great and she can be even that. I think that the voice calling to Wanda is someone that we do know is cast in the show, is Randall Kim. I think that's his name. The police officer from Ant-Man and the Wasp, who's obsessed with magic tricks, and Scott Lang, and the main police officer has been cast in WandaVision, and I think for somehow he's involved and is trying to reach out to
But
Wanda.
we haven't seen him, right?
We haven't seen him in the
yet?
show
Okay.
yet.
Randall Park?
Randall Park.
Okay. We're not gonna go back to that.
He
Randall Park, and he
played.
plays Jimmy Woo in this.
Yeah, he played Jimmy Woo. He played a character
Is that the
named
same?
Kim once.
Okay.
Um,
Is Jimmy Woo his character name in Ant-Man?
Yes.
Okay, so there's some crossover there.
Right, the
Which
Ant-Man
makes
police
sense.
officer is in the show, and I
Yes.
think that was his voice. It's hard to tell. The other supporting character
Okay.
from other movies that's randomly in this show is Darcy from the Thor
Yeah,
movies.
I'm seeing her.
Oh.
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings. They brought her in because they talked about how much she's good. She has a lot of experience in sitcoms. And so they figured she's the perfect person to cast, that she's already in the universe. I don't know how she's involved.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I think they're going to infiltrate Wanda's like weird headspace TV show and try to pull her out, because I think
for
Wanda.
what purpose? What do they need
I
her
think
for?
they're trying to stop her from like ending the universe. Like, she's messing up outside of
But
the world stuff.
We just had a near universe ending
Like-
with Endgame. Do you think they'd go that far already?
I think in the comics that's what happens. I think in this it's going to be less serious and more that she is causing issues and that people need to get her out of her head basically and pull her back into the world.
yeah. I mean, what I like immediately thought of when I like was finished watching the first two episodes was what came to my mind is like in Captain Marvel when like there's like aliens like they're going into her like memory and trying to like get information. So I wasn't like, because I wasn't sure if like the voice is like somebody trying to figure out who's doing that to her, because like that's what he's saying is like who's doing this to you.
Right.
Like, and then there's also the like what Hunter, you might be right. Like some people are trying to infiltrate because there's just out of the sewer comes a guy. And apparently
Yeah.
he's like a beekeeper or something.
He is.
I have no idea what
is
that's
a
a reference
beekeeper.
to.
but that we don't have any beekeeper references yet. So
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
And then the big Easter egg happening simultaneously is that she's pregnant.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of like a forgotten moment. Did you not notice she's
What do you
pregnant?
mean
Hunter?
Easter egg?
Maybe not an Easter egg. I guess just something that happens.
Or
in
just
the
something
show.
that happens? Yeah, I mean, I think that's still in her head. I don't think that has anything to do with the real world.
But they go back to it. So when she resets the scene, she kind of rewinds
Right.
her episode. She's still pregnant though.
Right.
She doesn't
I think
rewind
in her suburban world, she is pregnant. Can we just talk about the two leads though of Wanda and Vision themselves?
Yeah.
I don't think Vision is alive. I think she is also in his head.
Chronologically, this is supposedly
This is-
taking place after Endgame, or
Right.
after Infinity War, for that matter.
Spoilers for phases 1 through 3 of Marvel.
For everything ever.
Like, this is a phase 4
Yeah.
looking forward to phase 4 of Marvel. So
If
if you're
you're
not caught up to
behind,
Marvel,
no.
then yeah. But
Go
yeah,
somewhere
Vision
else.
is dead in chronology in the world. I don't think they're bringing him back. I think they brought him back because Paul Bettany is one of the best actors alive,
Right.
and they wanted to give him a good send-off. I do think at the end of these 9 episodes, that's the end of Paul Bettany in the MCU. That's my prediction.
Even though we have his Infinity Stone, and they could
remake him. That is something that actually happens in the comics.
Okay.
They rebuild Vision. He's a much more robotic,
With
less
the Mind Stone.
emotional version of Vision in the rebuilt version of him, because Ultron wasn't there to kind of half make him.
Yeah, I mean, also, it's like also weird because in the series, which Wanda like doesn't do in like any movies or anything, is that she just like snaps her fingers or something and then she just makes things appear. But that's not something that she does. She just makes stuff like what
it's not
would
a normal
be
superpower.
Yeah, like what would happen was when she was like making everything like doing cooking. That is something that she would
can
do.
lift things.
Yeah, they
can
very
blow
much
things.
alter her powers, but we also don't really know her powers. It seems like she's a character who doesn't even understand her own powers in the movies up to this point. And so you could argue that she can do way more than she's shown that she's capable of doing. In any sense, the way that they do it, where it's like it's an old 40s Dick Van Dyke TV show where she snaps her fingers and like Mary Poppins, everything pops up and everything's fine type of thing.
Yeah, and then like the people just like say, "Wait, I see a rope."
Right. Yeah.
It's like like it's supposed to be like old and funny.
Right, and the snapping is actually, I think you go back to like I Dream a Genie type.
Yeah,
of,
it's very.
she does a winking, and she can just make things appear or change things. So I think it's kind of an ode to that time as well.
I love the callbacks to old sitcoms. That's why I'm not on the same side as you. I love these 2 episodes. I'm obsessed with them. I love how much it feels like old TV shows that we used to watch. Dick Van Dyke, I Dream a Genie.
Yeah, we used to watch them, and now they're they're definitely.
And I think they're fully taking advantage of the fact that they have 9 episodes that they announced. They
don't have a huge budget.
They don't have a huge budget, but they're clearly saving their budget, and I think this is going to go to some crazy places, and I think they're saving that budget so that when this show does become a full-on action movie, essentially, it's going to look just as good as the movies do.
Hunter, you started to touch on this, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about these 2 actors. Can you name one non-Marvel movie that Elizabeth Olsen has done?
Not that I've seen.
Right.
Her breakout role was Martha Marcy May Marlene.
Okay. I see that. 2011.
Yeah, she acted with Josh Brolin in a different movie in the Old Boy remake. I don't think I've seen her in any other.
Same question for
Marvel.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany, that guy is brilliant. This guy is one of my favorite actors. A Knight's Tale, Beautiful Mind, Master and Commander.
Okay.
This guy is like close to my. When they cast him,
But this is his comeback.
Oh, he's in Solo. The Star Wars story was part of his comeback as well. He's the villain in that.
But he had already been doing Vision.
He had already been doing Vision for a couple of years.
His comeback.
He's talked about in interviews how before Marvel finally cast him as Vision, he was almost ready to retire because he just wasn't getting good roles. He had been Jarvis for years, but that's just a voicing role, and it was always just a nice presence because I love Paul Bettany's voice. But when he was announced to be Vision, it was one of the best news announcements I've ever had. And he got to be Vision for 3 movies, and then he died. And I'm just like, no, you had so much you could have explored with this character.
Any power shown.
Especially since he was supposed to be like the new most powerful Avenger because he's supposed to be like almost invincible because first of all, like even if something hits him, he's like just made out of vibranium, and then most of the time though he doesn't even let anything hit him because he can go through things.
With the exception of Iron Man and Captain America, and all the characters that died in Infinity War and Endgame, they are finding ways to bring back. Because Black Widow, they're giving her one more movie, they're giving her a send-off.
Yeah.
Vision, they're giving him this show. I don't know if it's a send-off or if it's just a new way of bringing him back. We don't know yet. Gamora, she's going to be back, not because her character is actually alive, but because they brought back this alternate dimension version of her from the 2014 version of Gamora. So they're finding ways to bring back all the characters they killed off. And the only ones I think the only ones they're keeping dead permanently at least for now, is Captain America and Iron Man, which I'm okay with. I think I don't want them to bring them back just because they had such a fantastic send off.
Yeah, and like because with Gamora, like what is that again? Like that's is that like a
because they went back in time.
Yeah,
and the 2014 version of Gamora from the first Guardians of the Galaxy is now just wandering the 2023 world.
Yeah, because it's
Not in
weird
love
because
with Star-Lord
they
yet.
were trying
Right.
to because that's a weird part because they were trying to make everything go back to normal as much as they possibly could. Like with Captain America, he like went back
Right.
and tried to do.
But they
like,
show at the
everything.
end of the Endgame that Star-Lord is still searching for Gamora. So Gamora's still out there. I think that's going to be a huge part of the third Guardians. WandaVision, we have 7 episodes left. How long, Mick, are you going to be able to stand it before the show really pumps into the action and the main story? How many more?
I know it's gonna get there.
I think the
But it's-
third like episode I kind of feel like is going to be the last. I think most of the third episode, probably like half of it, is going to be somewhat the same. And then I think they're definitely going to do a lot more, like at the second half of third episode or something like that.
I think this might go way further than you're seeing here, though, because
Yeah.
they've tapped the 40s TV shows with the first episode. I'm pretty sure that second episode dived into more of the 50s TV shows. I think they're gonna keep going. I think we're gonna get one episode for 60s, one for 70s, one for 80s, one for 90s. I don't think we're getting into the big I don't think we're exiting the TV realm of this WandaVision show until until the last 3 episodes of the show, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah,
I think
mean,
until then we're gonna keep getting hints and keep getting more and more story, and it's gonna get weirder and weirder. But I think they're in this for the long run to make one crazy show of sitcom love.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like this whole thing. You could be right about people trying to get like her for if they're trying to like bring her out of a bad place, or if they're trying to get her for something bad, or like because like it seemed like the end of the second episode is her actually just like you see like very clearly her like rewinding everything, but it kind of seems like the other parts she is also rewinding a little, but we just don't even see it because it's like the lady that was like really surprised of like the radio just seemed like she all of a sudden just forgot about it because
Yeah.
don't
Well,
see how
you
that
you
would
mentioned
happen.
rewinding, Solomon, and rewinding is the last thing I will ever do for this show right now. I will never go back and watch through it.
Oh, you
more.
say that now. But
I
but I don't
know.
know where this is going. I'm in a similar place.
No
This-
matter where it goes, I don't want to watch these dull moments anymore. And I'm sorry to be the downer here, but I'm going to say it because other people might be with me a little bit. And I know the critics love this show. It's sitting at a 97% tomato meter and an 84% audience, which is fine. But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I remember the first time I watched it, it's like it almost seems like they're just trying to make it seem like a normal thing, but then they're like hinting in the wild things. Like I remember the first time I watched that, like the second commercial, it just like seemed like they were just showing a normal watch type thing, and then in the background you can see
nope,
like
then
Hydra.
you see Hydra.
Yeah.
And then it's like I remember I was seeing you watch it, and I remember when I saw it again, and I already knew, knew that it was there. It sounded a lot like different in a way because
You know what you're looking for.
yeah, like it kind of sounded like they were actually trying to make sure that you saw that, and then made it sound different and like weirder.
Well, let's wrap up WandaVision with some last thoughts. We can't do a rating. There's only 2 episodes. But Hunter, do you have some last thoughts about WandaVision?
Just all of Paul Bettany praise in the world. I think that guy is one of the best actors alive. I think the weird scene that doesn't make any sense of the gum gets stuck in his stomach. It doesn't make any sense, but it fits the weird 50s TV shows that they're going with. I think Paul Bettany is the best, and I want as much of that character as I can get.
Yeah, I mean, and you said that you like had an idea of where was it going. Did you want to say like what you thought was going to happen?
Oh, just that I think it's going to culminate into a full-on action movie. This is the prequel to the Doctor Strange 2. This show will lead into directly Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So this is not going to be the end of the story. I think it's going to end up being Wanda is going to end up like tearing the fabric of the universe apart. Same with the Loki TV show. They've talked about that. We'll go into I'll list these out in order so it's not as confusing as I'm saying right now. But essentially, WandaVision and Loki, these two TV shows, lead into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Which we know Wanda is going to be in.
Yes,
she's
Wanda
been
has
cast
been
for
cast
that, and
in
she's
that
filming it right now.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that, I mean, we do see a hint of the logo on the book at the end of episode 1. I guess that's supposed to be representing SWORD, which was something created by Joss Whedon in 2004. So it's basically an intelligence agency that studies extraterrestrial beings.
Right.
It doesn't really tell us a lot, but I wanted to point that out, that is significant. And for me, what will really redeem this show is if we bring back Aaron Taylor Johnson, which is Wanda's brother, who we quickly forget about.
Yeah.
But he could come back. He's still acting. He's still one of my
If they don't,
well-liked
I think it's just a
actors.
big miss of an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because this is the only time you'll be able to bring back that character.
Yeah, because at the same time it could not be, and because right now it might just seem like that, and it might actually be that wouldn't make sense at the end, because it could be something totally different just between them two.
Sure.
Because
So that's our WandaVision quick review. Not very quick, but a little bit. Only 2 episodes that we can talk about so far. Hunter, lead us into Phase 4.
All right, Phase 4 of Marvel. That was WandaVision. That's January 2021. Coming out in March, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. 8 episodes, 6 episodes. They haven't fully announced the episode length of any of the shows. 6 episodes is the general length that we know about. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, sequel to Endgame. While Falcon has been given the mantle of Captain America, clearly something's off. The world hasn't accepted him as Captain America. The government has created their own Captain America, called U.S. Soldier or something. I don't know. It's some dumb name, and Wyatt Russell is playing this version. The government creates their own Captain America, while Captain America himself gave the mantle over to Falcon. So there's all this drama. What do you guys think about this show?
I mean, it seems like some of what you said and what I saw in the preview was that it definitely seems like it's just all about you definitely saw a lot of how they're going to be doing all sorts of things like airplanes and I think it looks like a lot of flying with them.
I want to see them trade off the Captain America title. I wanted to see it go from Bucky to Falcon, back and forth. They just
They're both Captain America?
Yeah, that's what I want to see. So what do we have next?
Next is Black Widow, the movie, finally coming out. This is the send-off to Scarlett Johansson's character. She is dead. This takes place before Infinity War and Endgame. This takes place in between Captain America Civil War, when Black Widow and Captain America are now fugitives from the law, and they are on the run. So this is going to see a little bit of what Black Widow's up to.
It looks like the rest of her family members are fugitives, too. I mean...
it sees her going back to her KGB
days
type of thing.
Everybody's a Russian, so she's gonna have to find her accent back.
Yeah, I would be interested in to see her like the character accidentally fall into her old accent type of thing, giving a little bit of continuity as to why she just sounds American. I don't know. This movie could be good. I hope it is. The trailers are so.
It will be good simply for Hopper.
Oh yeah,
from Stranger Things.
David Harbour.
Yeah, David Harbour.
He's the best part in the trailers, at least. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like, we don't really see too much of it. Just the trailer so far. So yeah, I don't know.
All right, so that comes out May 7th. Also coming out around the time of May, we don't have an official date, is Loki season 1. They have announced that season 2 is in development. This is the only show that they've announced will have multiple seasons.
Someone was happy with the screenings then.
Right, and I think that's because this is an alternate dimension. So this is just essentially the adventures of Loki, where he's not involved with the Avengers anymore. This is an alternate dimension. Owen Wilson is in the trailer as a Time Lord type of thing. Like, he's in charge of time and, like, dimensions and stuff.
Yeah, it definitely, the I'd say the two things that we haven't seen at all yet, except for the preview. Actually, not even the preview for some. But, like, Loki is definitely one that I think I'm gonna like, because it seems like it'll be really good, because it takes place right after Avengers, because we saw in Endgame, in Endgame was the only time that we saw the in-between space, because in Thor 2 we saw him after, like, he still had his same, like, handcuffs and, like, mask on. So it's just, like, that's the way it, like, basically splits.
Right.
And it's, like, two different things that happen.
It's going to be a crazy time.
Do we have What If after that?
Yes, the next show before What If is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, coming out July 9th. This is an original movie. Ooh, can't remember the director's name, but he's one of my favorite directors right now. He directed Short Term 12 with Brie Larson. This is going to be culminating finally since the beginning of the MCU, bringing the Ten Rings back. The bad guys from, I think they're in all three of the Iron Man movies.
So which Marvel superhero will kind of bridge the gap to this movie?
There's nobody cast in there that has been in other movies. This is like a Black Panther type of situation where it's completely new characters, completely new world. The only connection is the Ten Rings.
Martin Short
organization
in
there
Black
was
Panther?
that little bridge.
I'm
So there's
saying
probably
anybody.
going to be someone, but as of now we don't know. Not that I'm aware of.
I'll take a quick look, but I mentioned What If because that's the one I'm excited for, just to get a little more Chadwick Boseman, because he is credited for filming. I mean, it's an animated show, so it'll be his voice, but it's just something cool to have, after someone's passed, just to have them kind of brought back to life through a show. And not to mention all the insane scenarios that they can do with that animation.
And it is the first animated thing that's in the Marvel Universe. It's alternate dimensions type stuff, so it's not like in the timeline, but with the multiverse and stuff, that's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this will have multiple seasons as well. Loki's the only live-action show, but What If will continue on next year.
With Awkwafina. Do you know who that is?
Yeah,
Awkwafina from Crazy Rich Asians.
And Jumanji.
Yeah.
Sal, what do you think about animated, weird, alternate dimensions?
I mean, it definitely seems like they would have just a lot of opportunity, which is another reason that this and Loki, I feel like, would have a lot more episodes, because, like, especially this is because it's kind of just like a whole different. It's just a whole different thing. It's like just them doing other things.
Yep.
And Loki is also a lot because there's a lot of time that passes.
And we're also going to get Captain Britain.
Yeah.
Haley Atwell is returning to voice Peggy Carter in the alternate world where she gets the.
Do you know what it's going to be
soldier.
for kids, adults? Is it just kind of normal Marvel?
I think it'll be normal. I think it'll be slightly toned down so kids can watch it as well.
Okay.
TV PG type of thing probably. I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's gonna. I hope it's released week to week as well as along with everything else, because I don't really want to watch like 20 episodes of animated What If storylines. I really hope that it's like short and sweet episodes that I get to watch every once in a while. All right, the next thing after What If is the TV show Miss Marvel, also releasing on Disney+. This is, I believe, an entirely original cast as well.
I don't even remember this announced. Was this a later one?
This one
later announced?
This was not part of the original announcement, I don't believe. But it's I think it's a high school setting. It's a character kind of connected to Captain Marvel's similar superpowers, I believe. And I think Brie Larson will return, not necessarily for this show, but in some capacity, Miss Marvel will appear in the movies, and Brie's going to somehow hand a mantle over, even though Brie just got cast as Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing they're both going to exist, Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because that's just like another whole different thing then.
Yeah, we don't know much about it. There's a short trailer, but we don't know much about this.
Okay.
And the next thing after this, we're getting to the last few things of 2021 is the Eternals, November 5th. This is another one that got delayed. This and Black Widow were supposed to be the movies that came out last year. This is going to be a weird movie about characters who are thousands of years old. It's going to show the Marvel Universe at the earliest times we've ever seen, of thousands of years ago. It's a huge cast. Angelina Jolie. I haven't looked into this one for a while, but it's a fantastic cast.
We've just seen 3, right? In all of like the Marvel things, we've seen 3 of kind of like the Eternals.
Oh, that's the Celestials, which they might be related. The 3 Celestials that we've seen are Benicio del Toro in Guardians of the Galaxy is the guy who wants all the Infinity Stones. He's the collector. The Grandmaster in Thor Ragnarok is Jeff Goldblum. They might be related because those characters are also thousands of years old.
Yeah, and then
is Tyree Henry from Atlanta?
Yeah, Brian Tyree Henry.
He's in the Eternals, so we'll find out more about that. Now, is there one more big one for 2021?
2 more.
Oh,
the other one is the TV show Hawkeye.
Okay.
We don't know much about it. We just know that it's Hawkeye, kind of handing the mantle of of Hawkeye over to Kate Bishop, who is played by Haley Steinfeld.
Are they changing the daughter, or has she been in these Marvel
No,
movies?
it's not the daughter. It's Kate Bishop is a different character.
Oh, okay. I'm totally threw you off there. I'm sorry. It's not the daughter.
It's
there
not
was
the daughter.
About the daughter.
There was rumors that the daughter
that's
would
in
be
some comics,
in it.
isn't it?
I think
His
so.
daughter
But no, Haley Steinfeld is joining the Marvel Universe as Kate Bishop. I think this will probably be the end of Hawkeye. I think they're kind of phasing him out.
Yeah. It's his time.
Which is good that he's getting his own show.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I mean, because it seems like for a while they've kind of showed him as not quite as big, just kind of like another agent in a way, just kind of like the best agent.
Right.
Not really, because I mean, we've always seen him he's usually the one to get hurt or something. That I don't know. But yeah.
And then the final thing to come out in 2021 is the 3rd movie of Spider-Man. It's untitled. It has been a weird ride. Sony, I hope they don't ruin Spider-Man again, because they essentially forced Marvel to do the same thing that Sony has been doing all along, which is they're obsessed with making the 3rd movie in Spider-Man movies with tons of villains. They were gonna do it with Amazing Spider-Man
from the previous movies I'm reading.
Yeah, but either way, they're obsessed with jam-packing tons of stuff into one movie. For the 3rd time, Amazing Spider-Man 3 was gonna have tons of villains, but they canceled that. Spider-Man 3 was jam-packed with Venom and Green Goblin and Sandman. This one, they've jam-packed it, but I have hopes it's the same writers as Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home. But it's this weird multiverse thing where they're going to be connecting it to the previous Spider-Man series. Kirsten Dunst is returning as Mary Jane, but I believe it's the Mary Jane from the original Spider-Man trilogy. And then Jamie Foxx is returning as Electro, but I hear that one's not the same version. This is a new version of Electro, and they just want Jamie Foxx to play this new version.
Maybe just a different timeline of Electro.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, because I remember I watched it a little while ago, because that's the last thing that happens is Spider-Man 2, and the timeline of Marvel right now. WandaVision is now just the new thing that came out latest, but because with Spider-Man 2, it just ended with him being, I guess now being chased by the law. Because the guy was he knew that he was going to get defeated, so at the last minute he kind of just made it so that it looked like Spider-Man just killed him for no reason.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
I hope it'll be good. I just worried it's going to be really messy and crazy. But if they lean into the comedy of it, I think it will really work. And I think Andrew Garfield has been cast to return as the other Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, there were rumors, but that one wasn't confirmed.
Yeah, I see Benedict Cumberbatch, Alfred Molina, who's the
Right.
original Dr. Octopus.
Yeah. Like,
Is there any rumors of them bringing in Venom and Morbius?
I think they're probably trying to, but I think Marvel probably won't let them. Marvel so far has prevented Sony from connecting Spider-Man to Venom and their other.
yeah.
Since I brought those up, I will mention that we kind of skipped over those for 2021, but Morbius will be coming out in March 2021 from what I'm seeing, and it looks like Venom 2 will also be coming out in June June
As of now,
so.
those movies aren't in the MCU, but if Sony gets their way, then all of these will eventually be in the MCU,
They're
I
Marvel,
guess,
but not
including
MCU,
the first
but-
Venom. Venom,
yeah.
I think it's something with Carnage.
Yeah,
And
that's the title.
Andy Serkis.
That's the title, Hunter. Venom, something with Carnage.
Yes, something with
No,
Carnage.
let
Andy
there be
Serkis is
carnage.
directing this.
Let there be Carnage.
Let there be Carnage. What a crazy name. I think the movie's going to be great and fun.
Woody Harrelson's the villain.
Yeah. All right, let's
Yeah.
dive into the rest of Phase 4, which is 2022.
Why don't you just list them?
Yeah,
Because
20
we don't. It's so far away.
we don't. The only ones we know much about at all is a couple of the movies. But I'll list the TV shows right now because we don't know like anything about these TV shows.
Okay.
Moon Knight, which does star Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. That's going to be great. Oscar
Nice.
Isaac's joining the MCU. She-Hulk. Tatiana Maslany. Ooh, I could be getting that name wrong. I do apologize, Tatiana.
No one would know.
She's cast as She-Hulk. Mark Ruffalo will be returning as Bruce Banner. Awesome. We don't know anything else. What If Season 2? Cool. I guess there's more of that. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Disney just announced this. They're going to film it just along with the third movie.
Okay.
And so it's just going to be a fun, short Christmas
Nice.
special of Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Secret Invasion. It's the Nick Fury show. It's going to be connecting to Captain Marvel. It's going to bring the Skrulls back. Ironheart is War Machine's... Or no, I don't know what Ironheart is about. There's two Iron Man related shows, Ironheart and Armor Wars. Armor Wars is Don Cheadle's show.
Oh.
We don't really know anything about these
There's
shows.
two Iron shows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ironheart and Armor Wars. Those are coming out at the end of 2022 / beginning of 2023. We don't have dates yet.
Wow, that is a long time away.
Ironheart could bring back Robert Downey Jr. or whatever. I don't know what it's about. It looks new.
So anyway, with those like 7 TV shows, is there anything you guys see in there that's exciting or whatever?
I mean, it was at the very end of like the timeline with Spider-Man 2 was we saw like Nick Fury wasn't actually Nick Fury.
Right.
Yeah, that's exciting. We're
I'm
gonna
excited
see
for
some
Secret
follow-up on that.
Invasion, but I do not want it to be just that show. Secret Invasion is such a massive story. It's one of the biggest stories in all of Marvel Comics. It needs to be bigger than just one TV show. It needs to affect all of Marvel. The Skrulls need to interfere in the movies. I need more Secret Invasion.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like you you can remember how like that's them like the very beginning of like all of like apparently this like Marvel and like Shield and everything is like I don't think Shield, but like it's just like the Skrulls have just not been there. They were just yeah. It's just this whole time.
Let's get to the
they've been doing
movies.
something.
All right.
Bring me the
movies
movies.
that are Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Sam Raimi's directing this from the Spider-Man movies and the Evil Dead movies. Like these, they fired Scott Derrickson, who did the first Doctor Strange, while filming it or something, and then Sam Raimi came on board.
Give me more movies.
Thor: Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi.
Yes. All right, that's a director I can get excited about. What? Taika Waititi?
Yes,
Yeah.
Taika Waititi. Thor: Love and Thunder. It's the first movie in Marvel Cinematic Universe that has a fourth movie. Jane Foster's returning. Natalie Portman's returning. Taika's returning.
That was huge news.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That is May 6th. Doctor Strange is March 25th of 2022. On July 8th is Black Panther 2. Probably not going to be the name. We don't know what this movie is, but it is happening. I think they said it's going to be about the sister now.
It's yeah.
The sister's now going to be the lead, which is great because everybody's obsessed with her. She's a fantastic actress.
Marvel has no other choice because everyone wants the sister. So
I wanted Lupita because Lupita was the worst character from that movie. But Lupita is one of the best actresses alive
I don't want
as
the
well.
Favorite. I want the worst character.
Yeah, I want them to fix the worst characters. That's what Marvel's great at. They're great at taking characters that weren't great at first and making them into something amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's like in the first Black Panther. We saw the sister also just being kind of just like a fun type of thing. Like she was always just kind of making like jokes sometimes.
Yeah, but I do hope Lupita at least returns. She's such a great actress. They need to give her something good to do. And then Captain Marvel 2. I don't really care about this.
Keep going.
And then at the beginning of 2023, the end of Phase 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's the end, or Phase 4, sorry.
No Blade and no Ant-Man and Wasp yet?
Ant-Man and the Wasp might be Phase 4. It's not coming out for a little while.
Fantastic
it's called
Four,
Quantumania. And Fantastic Four is also coming out. They have tons of movies and stuff announced.
No dates for them. Okay.
They're making an X-Men related movie.
Into the Spider-Verse sequel. I mean, I mentioned that because it's so popular. I mean, it's the best Spider-Man movie we have.
And who knows, maybe Spider-Man 3 will connect even to the animated Spider-Man films. Bring it all into the MCU.
I mean, I thought there was something in that made that not able to happen. I don't know. I mean, they can
I think they should bring animated characters and have them walking around with live action characters.
Perfect, Mary Poppins style.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like the Penguin.
So that's Phase 4. This is a massive phase. Phase 1 and 2 were 6 movies. Phase 3 was 11 movies.
Okay, this is
Phase 4 is 20 different movies and TV shows.
Over 20, right?
Over 20.
I think over 20. So. Out of all of these, Solomon, which of all these we just listed, what are you most excited about?
I'd say probably Doctor Strange too, because Doctor Strange has always
yum
kind of
give it to me, Sam Raimi. Give me Doctor Strange.
He's always kind of been the guy that I feel like is just kind of a cool character, because Captain Marvel is she's more powerful, but that's the problem I don't really like as much, is because she just comes in and then she just
takes
a lot
over.
of time. Yeah, she just a lot of times just does it. Doctor Strange is just really powerful, but so are his enemies.
Yeah.
Mick, how about you answer your own question? What are you looking forward to most in this phase?
Probably, I mean, I'm the biggest Guardians of the Galaxy fan, so that Christmas special, that's going to be pretty cool. And then the third one. And then on top of that, having Natalie Portman back, man, I grew up with her in the prequel Star Wars movies, and the Thor movies were weak, but I mean, it was still Natalie Portman, still Chris Hemsworth at the beginning.
I think
Thor
Taika's gonna fix that character too.
After Thor Ragnarok is a top Marvel movie. I mean, but then you also have Thor with the Guardians group in Guardians 3.
I don't think Taika wants Thor to be a main character. I think he might appear.
Okay.
Yeah,
but Thor Love and Thunder,
you can separate it real quick in a very comedic way.
Or sorry, I meant James Gunn doesn't want Thor in the Guardians movies, and Taika doesn't really want the Guardians in the Thor movies. So I know they just got paired up. Maybe they'll all appear in each other's movies, but I don't think
it doesn't matter too much.
They didn't really seem like they were much of together. They just kind of seems like they mainly did that as it was kind of a funny type of joke that they were doing.
So you're not attached to it. They can separate.
Yeah, in the movie, they just kind of seemed like it was mostly just of Thor at first, and then it became the Guardians, because it seemed like they weren't really together. They're just kind of switching pots in a way.
Hunter, you can choose all of the above box if you would like.
No, I have one I'm tentatively looking forward to most. I'm just so worried it's going to be bad. Is the Untitled Spider-Man 3? If it's good, then it could be one of the best movies out there, because Tom Holland is great. They brought back the same writers and the same director. And I just every time a new Spider-Man comes out, I'm terrified it's going to be terrible, because Sony is still in control.
And that's what I was going to say. One word.
So capable
Sony
of ruining
one
Spider-Man.
I mean, it does
Sony is going to screw it up.
Right now, the story of that, we don't really... I mean, all we know is like that type of thing was like lots of villains, and then possibly like the law was like maybe the story would be something like the law chasing him, and then as he's like running, he just runs into a bunch of villains.
You love the law.
You love the law.
The Spider-Verse.
Well,
Should
it
be more
said
excited
they-
about Falcon
The
and Winter
Spider-Verse
Soldier.
Sony.
Yeah.
Oh, so they did something right.
Yeah.
I gotta give them credit for Spider-Verse.
No, they're great at starting series because they give the creator control for the first one, and then they steal that control and say, "No, here's how to do the sequels for the other ones." The best thing Sony's doing is forcing Marvel to make a new Spider-Man every other year. We've gotten Spider-Man: Homecoming and Far
no
From
one
Home and the third
complains.
movie, all in the span of like 5 years. We got
No
3
one
movies.
complains.
And that's a good and a bad thing because if they keep forcing them to make movies so
All right,
quick, they
we
might
gotta
be
do.
terrible.
We gotta do one more question. Solomon, you're gonna end this question.
Amazing.
Hunter, you start it this time. Favorite current superhero?
Favorite current superhero?
Yep. Marvel superhero.
Vision.
Vision's a current favorite? Oh, because of it? Okay. What
Current
Vision?
favorite? Paul Bettany as Paul Bettany is my favorite superhero.
Yeah.
Vision's fine, but Paul Bettany. Well, answer your own question, then
I
let's
don't know,
give it to Sal
I
for
don't
the
know
end.
if I want to say Thor or Star-Lord because we're just not going to see them for a while. So, currently, out of those people coming, I wasn't ready. Give me some options.
I mean, my actual favorite is Spider-Man.
All right,
But currently,
wait,
it's Vision.
I have an answer. I have Charlie Cox's Daredevil.
Yes.
Who is rumored to be
Whoa.
in something.
He could be the lawyer in Spider-Man 3 because
That's what they've
Spider-Man's
been
going to need a
rumoring.
lawyer.
They need a lawyer.
And in the
yeah.
comics, the two of them team up all the time.
all the time, Daredevil and Spider-Man are
So,
together.
bring Charlie Cox in. Even if they have to restart the character, like even if they have to be like, no, that series didn't happen, still cast Charlie Cox as Daredevil because it's perfect. All right, Sal. I know you don't know what we're
It's
talking
perfect.
about when it comes to Daredevil, but
'Cause it's rated mature.
who
on
is your
Netflix.
favorite character as of right now?
I'd say
Wanda.
No.
Wanda's neighbor.
I'd say right now I'd have to say Doctor Strange.
I knew it.
You already
You
said that.
unoriginal
You
fool.
took it
Before.
already. You-
I said the movie before. Now I'm saying specifically
Right.
him.
No, my favorite's Don Cheadle as War Machine. Arr. I don't know why I did that voice. Don Cheadle's always
He's a
been kind of
pirate
lame to
now?
me, but I love him.
One person we didn't mention was Tom Holland, and he's got
That's what I was saying. He's my overall
Yeah.
favorite easily.
he's got Cherry coming out, but
He's
that's
so
another
great.
story. I mean, that came out.
All right,
like
that's
today or
Phase 4. This is epic. We took a thank you so much, brother. Hands in, hurrah!
something. Hands in, Sal.
Hands in.
Hands in for Marvel. 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
yeah.
Marvel.
It might be another 3 years till we talk about Marvel, but who cares?
We're
This has
here.
been great.
We're in 2021. We're alive. Wyatt's also alive.
Wyatt's alive.
I mean, yeah.
Thanks for being with
by
us
the ti-
today, guys.
He's now getting his master's. He's every time we do this, Wyatt's on a different trajectory of becoming like one of the best mechanical engineers in the country.
Yeah. Next time, I mean,
Wyatt's my favorite superhero.
Wyatt is my favorite superhero.
I mean, next time we do a podcast, we will have finished. We will have finished WandaVision.
Yeah.
So it's like we probably just won't really even say anything. Probably,
Exactly.
yeah. It would. It's
Solomon's
yeah.
gonna have a beard the next time we do this.
I hope so. Age 12 with a beard.
Amazing.
All right, guys. I'm just going to wrap us up. Everybody, stay nerdy and have a good one.